Welcome in. So, in this episode, we're going to do a short meditation on what I call on the spot compassion practice. For me, this is probably one of the practices I use the most informally throughout my day, especially relationally when I'm with other people or I'm going through something challenging emotionally. And so you can use this either formally if you want. Of course, you may sit with the video or the audio recording here and do it formally. But the idea is to bring it out into the world. The idea is to be able to, literally do it on the spot wherever you are. But for our situation here, go ahead and find a seat where you can keep a straight spine and just settle in for a moment. But of course, within that sense of upliftedness in the spine, the shoulders, and the back, allow yourself to be relaxed. And if you'd like, just to settle in, connecting to a few breaths, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Again, in through the nose, out through the nose. One last time, in through the nose, and out through the nose. Now, this practice requires getting familiar with tuning into our somatic experience. So to start, if you're not used to this, just pick somewhere in the body. Maybe it's the hands connected to resting on your knees or lap, or the feet, legs touching the ground. And just feel the sensation of that. Feel the relationship of that. One thing is meeting another thing, and there's a reaction. There's a sense of heaviness, weightedness to that, lightness, neutrality, pleasant, unpleasant, whatever it is. Just notice the qualities of that. Just the physical sensations. And just to practice in the mode of a compassion practice. Compassion is the way we lean into life, the way we lean into our experience internally, as well as how we're interpreting the world around us. Sometimes I define compassion as a quality of, or a willingness to be with all sorts of experiences, whether they're uncomfortable, comfortable, or just neutral. So we're fostering that attitude here, just in a very simple way, just sitting with sensation. And the attitude is a willingness to be with life, a willingness to be with things as they are, not to modify them, not trying to change or fix them. We're not trying to solve anything, including if this is challenging for you, just to feel the body. We're not trying to solve that either. You just try your best. So there's a sense of surrender. Some people have used the word acceptance here. I prefer the word surrender. There's a sense of surrender. It's just what's arising internally, our experience. But there's also a sense of curiosity, maybe a subtle sense of joy within that curiosity. The joy is just open to life, right? In this sense, we're narrowing it down to physical sensation. So open to physical sensation, open to what's arising, what's happening there, without trying to create something. So practice that for a moment. Openness, curiosity, surrender, whatever works best for you. So you're welcome to sit with just the rawness of physical sensation for as long as you want. You can pause here. Now we're going to move into subtler qualities of mood, emotion, energy movement in the body. Just noticing what's arising for you, whether that's something pleasurable, uncomfortable, or unpleasurable, or neutral. And we don't have to analyze its neutrality or unpleasantness. You're just being with whatever's there. And this can be quite challenging, so I recommend if you're new to this, don't pick the most challenging emotion right now. And if there's no emotion arising, it's fine. Just be with that. That's more of a neutral experience. But the compassion is the willingness to be with it, the willingness to allow and be open, to not apply judgment or some kind of rule that it needs to be a certain way. So just see if you can practice that for a moment. Now, including our emotions, maybe even our thoughts. Everything can play as it wants. Everything can move as it wants. We're simply witnessing it and allowing. And also kind of touching gently. Now you can stay with that as long as you'd like. You can practice with that as long as you want, this centering or stance of compassion. You can also pause here. You want to stay with that a little bit longer. Now we're going to move to what we usually interpret as something external to us. This would be something happening around us. Right now we're probably in a quiet space, meaning like we're not engaging with other people. There might be sounds around us, sensations of the temperature in the room, light or no light. Just tune into that. Tune in just means be open to it, observe it with awareness, with mindfulness. And we're applying this attitude of compassion, which is a willingness to meet it and be open. There's a sense of exploration here, of joy, of even meeting sort of the freshness, the spontaneity of life. First, we met the life within us, and now we're going to meet what we usually interpret as life outside of us. And again, this is tough because sometimes, we mostly use our thinking mind for this. So instead, use the body. Use the body as sort of like a measuring tool. Start with the temperature in the room. You may want to open your eyes at this point too. You can use the sense perceptions, obviously your ears, your eyes, smells, tastes. Just let things be as they are. But we're meeting them with a sense of openness. And by the way, openness doesn't mean we have to like it. We're also meaning not liking it, right? So now we may even be flirting with where the internal is meeting the external and all of the gray area there. Just leaving mindfulness and awareness as an observer, as a way to look. There's no conclusions we have to make here. There's no special experience that we need or way of being. Just being open. And compassion is the moistness of meeting things with an open heart, a willingness to meet whatever and however they are. Okay. So these 3 steps that I shared, meeting one's sort of immediate internal landscape in the form of sensations, which are more raw. Then, of course, our emotions, thoughts, maybe energy movement in the body. And then merging that or being open also to what we perceive as external. And if you continue to practice these in this way, they become quicker, meaning we can start to, we don't have to compartmentalize them, first of all. We can just sort of bear witness to all of that in one time. But we can also do it quickly. So for instance, if I'm in a relational conflict with someone, I might do this practice, but in a very quick way, meaning like, I'm in the midst of a conversation that's challenging. I drop into my body. I feel. I allow. I don't try to control what is right and wrong about my own reaction or experience. I just bear witness to it. Allow space to happen also with it. And then from there, it's not quite coming out. I'm inviting in the other person or whatever else is involved in the situation and being open to that, right? Which is usually even more complex, right? Because we when there's a conflict, it's because we don't understand the other person or they don't understand us, or there's some disagreement between our beliefs or realities. But here, just being open usually takes the form of listening before we react. But that first step of acknowledging and being compassionate towards our own experience allows the openness to unfold for the other person or situation in a totally different way. And then, of course, we're not, depending on the situation, compassion is not about weakness, it's about strength derived from seeing reality more clearly. And so that space and openness and willingness to be with the pain of a situation, our own as well as possibly what someone is sharing with us or expressing to us, it allows genuine truth and harmony to eventually come out, in my opinion. And that may take time, but it's more likely to happen. So, so this is what I tend to do. I did it in a little bit longer of a format here, just to give some of you who are newer to this kind of thing something to work with. But as I said, on the spot really means this happens, boom, and all of that is happening pretty quickly. Let's say you're in traffic and you just start to get overwhelmed, or you're in a difficult conversation with a loved one. What do you do? Right? You can't say, hey, wait a second, you go meditate for 10 minutes and come back. We got to learn to do it on the spot. But that usually happens, gradually. So I want to encourage you to also practice this formally. You can use this guided meditation or, your own way of working with it. So thanks so much for meditating with me. I really appreciate it. Let me know how this goes for you. Let me know if this is helpful in your practice. I'm happy to do more. You can either comment on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, or you can reach out to me at scotttusa.com and send me a note. All right. Wishing you all the best. Thanks so much.